This is Tina Douglas, and you're listening to the Liam Photography Podcast with your host, my husband, Liam Douglas. Enjoy!
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Liam Douglas here with the Liam Photography Podcast, and this is episode 472. And today I have for my audience a special treat. This young lady has been on the show once before. She is a food photographer. She does a lot of stuff, actually. She's based out on the West Coast, and she has two popular YouTube channels, Gemini Connect and Gemini Travel. So today we're going to be talking with the one and only Suzi Pratt. So let me bring her on here. Hey, Suzi, how are you doing?
Hi, doing so well. I'm happy to be back.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming back on the show. I love to do interviews, but I hate to bug people all the time. So it's like I try to leave a bit of distance before I have a guest come back on. I do like to keep in touch with my guests because, you know, so many things are going on in the world of photography and videography and YouTubing and all of that good stuff. So I do like to circle back, and I'm talking to you today for next Thursday's episode. And then tomorrow I'm doing an interview with Dr. Larry from Platypod for the following week. You guys were both available on the same weekend. So I was like, okay, we'll talk to Suzi on Saturday. We'll talk to Dr. Larry on Sunday, and I'll have two interview episodes back to back. And, I was like, man, that's awesome because they were both popular episodes last time. So I was really looking forward to getting you back on the show.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'm happy to be back.
Great. So since we talked the last time, how have things been going as far as your photography? Are you still doing quite a bit of food photography, or are you branching out into more genres, or what are you working on there primarily?
So since we talked last time, I've had another baby, so about a year ago, and
Oh my
so that has
goodness.
made me slow things down quite a bit.
Oh, I can imagine. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, another boy, and he just started walking, so we're on our toes now with him. But as a result, I've had a lot less time to work on things, and so I've really had to reprioritize and just be like, what do I actually want to do? What do I have to do? And I feel like photography has been a lot less lately, partially because I took a long maternity leave, but I am starting to get back into it at this point. But it's significantly less than before.
Oh, I can imagine. And the two of you must be busy with two little ones now. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that brings up a good question, because now the magic question is, how in the world do you manage to record YouTube videos with having two little ones in the house?
That is a good question. Basically, I get no personal time anymore. So we do have some help. We have a nanny who comes like 2 days a week, which is still like very little time in the grand scheme of
Oh
things.
yeah.
So I get, yeah, roughly 2 days a week to actually work, and then I spend a lot of my nights at this point. Just I get another 2 to 4 hours at night working. So yeah, no more Netflix, no more just watching movies or hanging out. It's like if I have any bit of free time, it goes towards something kind of work related. And the good thing is, I know that that's a temporary phase, and that at some point there will be more time. But right now, it's just any little bit of free time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's going to take a while. And the thing is, even when you get, a couple of hours to work on a YouTube video at night when the babies are sleeping, you got to make sure you're still quiet enough you don't wake them back up too.
Uh-huh, absolutely. I actually did that last night. I was recording, and then he starts crying, and I was like, "Oh no, I have to re-record the whole thing."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Because
yeah, it's
I'm
okay.
sure the
It's okay.
microphones pick up a baby screaming.
Oh yes, especially when he's in the room next to you.
Oh
So
goodness. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
amazing how small they are, and yet they've got such powerful lungs.
Oh gosh. Yep. Yep.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, I can imagine that your photography probably has slowed down quite a bit with having two little ones now. That would definitely
Hmm.
keep both of you and Martin busy, I can imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, before we got a chance to circle up for this episode, I know you were traveling. Can you share a little bit about that? I don't want to get into your personal life too much, but just the
Mhm.
traveling in general, because I know you do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we do have that second channel that is about our travels, and so we are pretty open about it. The only thing is that because it's a second channel and because we have so much going on, we are like more than a year delayed in terms of actually posting updates. So we have tons of trips that we haven't even made those videos about, but we have the content. It will eventually go on that channel. But we did a lot of traveling this year, actually. It started around Christmas time. We went to see my family in Hawaii for about 3 weeks. Then we did 3 weeks in Japan. Then we did 3 weeks in Canada. And then we just did another 3 weeks in Bulgaria to visit Martin's family.
Oh
So
my
a lot
goodness.
of travel.
Yeah, and
Too much travel. I'm actually burnt out at this point.
I can imagine. I'm jealous though because you got to go to Hawaii and Japan. They're two places I've been dying to go to. I've been to all 48 of the contiguous states in my life between my
Oh,
time in the
wow.
military and when I was a truck driver when I was younger. The only two
Hmm.
states I haven't been to yet are Alaska and Hawaii, and I want to go so bad to both of them. And Chris and Jordan from Petapixel, they've been on the show before. They just wrapped up filming a full length documentary in Alaska. And I was so
Oh,
jealous. I
wow.
saw their behind the scenes video on the Petapixel YouTube channel. And they're not, it's a video about Chris's passion for fly fishing
Hmm.
because he's huge into that. And
Hmm.
so they shot an entire documentary film around that aspect of his life and some other things, tying into fatherhood and all of that stuff because he's got kids too.
Hmm.
And I was like looking all over and I'm like, okay, where's the video? I'm not big into fishing, but I want to see the video. And then I read on the Petapixel website, oh, we're not releasing it until after all of the film festivals because we're submitting it to them first. And I was like, oh man, so I'll probably have to wait till next year to see it.
Hmm.
But it was exciting because it was their first time doing first time doing a full feature length documentary that I think is like 90 minutes long. But it was also their first time filming entirely with Fujifilm GFX medium format cinema gear. Because I don't know if you know it or not, but
Really?
yeah, Fujifilm released a GFX Eterna, which is a medium format cinema camera.
Okay.
They just released that in the last, I want to say 6 months, maybe 8 months or
Hmm.
something like that. And so it's got like a 100 megapixel sensor like the GFX 100 series does. And it's completely a cinema camera. It's made for making films.
Wow. Yeah, I'd heard about it, but I didn't know any details. I know that I love the Eterna film simulation, so
Oh,
that's
so do
pretty
I.
cool that they took the inspiration and made an actual camera with the name.
Yep. Now what we got to do is bring you over to the dark side, get you away from Sony. No, I'm just kidding.
I actually have a Fujifilm
Oh, do you? Oh, I didn't know
because
that.
yeah, so my partner Martin, he has Fujifilm, and so he's been trying to get me to go over to Fujifilm for years. And so I did actually I bought a Fujifilm X-T3. So whenever I'm filming in the studio, like I actually use a Fujifilm. That's all Fujifilm. And yeah, we have two other cameras. He's got the XH1 and the XH2S. And so
Oh,
we do
okay.
have Fuji gear. Yeah,
Wow.
we love
I didn't
Fuji.
know that. All right,
Hmm.
Martin, you get points for that, buddy. Well, I did Canon for a long time, especially when I was shooting NASCAR and IMSA racing.
Hmm.
Just because at the time, they had the fastest bodies. I was shooting the 1D bodies with huge white lenses and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But um, I don't remember if I shared this with you last time or not, but I had an injury almost 30 years ago where I broke my right wrist for like the 10th time.
Ooh.
And I developed a nerve degenerative disorder in the arm. So basically, the bones healed, but the nerves are telling my brain 24/7 that the arm is still broken. So that's fun.
Mm.
And it's been progressively getting worse. And about 3 years ago, when shortly about a year after we moved to North Carolina from Atlanta, my doctor's like, "Look, you've either got to quit doing photography or you got to switch to much lighter gear." So I
Hmm.
sold off all my Canon stuff and went all Fujifilm because I always loved Fuji's equipment as well. I'd use theirs off and on.
Hmm.
So I've always been a big fan of their gear as well. And I'll tell you, I don't regret it. I mean, Canon did me right for a long, long time. They make great gear.
Hmm.
All the companies make great gear. Let's be honest. I mean, people get hung up on, one brand or the other. And it's like they all have certain things that they're really fantastic at and other things that they're kind of meh at.
That's true. It's true.
And, I tell people that on this podcast all the time. I'm like, I don't care what you shoot with. The important thing is
Hmm.
you're shooting.
Yep,
Work
exactly.
work on your fundamentals, get so you know your exposure triangle, and just enjoy yourself. Do
Hmm.
something that you love to do with the gear that you love. Who cares whose name is on it? But
Yep.
I had to tease you about bringing you over to the dark side.
I'm already halfway there, or
There
partway
you go.
there.
Oh, so I do, because we didn't get a chance to talk about this because I think I set that up for you after we did the last episode. So I also wanted to ask you, how has your adventure been going with the platypod gear?
It's been going great. I love how compact it is because, most tripods are so huge and you're just kind of used to having to lug around something really big. And so as a result, I don't usually bring big tripods with me, but because I have the platypod and it's so small, like I love compact gear. So it fits right in with the rest of my setup. And I've been using it to film more at my desk because recently, just because of having the two kids, I've had to get more creative with where I film. And so over the last couple of months, have created a new filming spot on my desk. And the platypod was perfect for that because it doesn't take up hardly any space on my desk. So I'm able to put my full frame camera in the corner and just kind of leave it there. Whenever I feel inspired, I just flip it on, film something, and turn it off, and it just sits there.
Oh yeah, I had a feeling that might work well for you guys, being you do so much traveling. Because let's face it, I mean, not only is a tripod big and heavy to lug around, even if you get a carbon fiber one, they're still not a joy to lug around all day.
Right.
And
Hmm.
then B, the other problem is, and I'm sure you know this with all your traveling, is you run into so many places where tripods are not allowed.
Yep.
But you
Hmm.
whip out a platypod and they're like, yeah, okay, if you want to call that a tripod, whatever, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
I have never, ever had security or anything like that in any place that didn't allow tripods ever give me grief over my platypod. So that's the other thing
Hmm.
I really love about it is I can just pull it out of my pocket, set my camera on it, get my shots, and nobody complains.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I really love it.
And I love that Dr. Larry has been constantly innovating with new products. Now, it's my understanding, and I'm like I said, I'm going to talk to him tomorrow for the following week's episode. But the new Delta tripod just blew me away because it's even smaller. And then
What?
I guess based on user feedback, customer feedback, because he's big into that, like Sony and Fujifilm are. They love to take it feedback from their customers and then implement it in future products or in updates if
Hmm.
they can. And I guess he got a lot of feedback that a lot of people loved the permanently attached legs or feet or the spikes, whatever you want to call them, that were on the Platypod Extreme. And that at the time, that was the only model that had them. So the feet are
Mm.
permanently attached and they swivel. So
Oh,
you
that's nice.
swivel them and then they lock into place when you need to use them. And then when you're done using them, they're like spring loaded. You just pull a little bit and flip them back up and they're tucked into little slots in the flat part of the tripod so they're out of your way.
Oh, I love
So,
that.
yeah, so a lot of his users loved that design, but they wanted something even tinier. So he came
Mm.
up with the Delta, and the Delta is just absolutely. I just recently got two of them. I'm going to give one of them away on the show since I my YouTube channel hit 50,000 subs. I'm going to do that as my giveaway. And the Delta is just so cool because it can still handle a fairly large full frame body and lens. You just have to
Hmm.
remember that because it's triangle shape, you want to make sure you position your tripod head or whatever you're using on it to make sure that the lens barrel is going out between the two legs on the one end. And then it's perfectly balanced. You don't have to worry about it all tipping over and all that stuff. As long as you don't go too crazy with how heavy the lens is. But you
Hmm.
can easily do like a 70 to 200 and it's perfectly fine.
Really?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Interesting.
And so he came out with that. And then he's also got a tablet mount now, which is similar
Mm.
to you and I've seen hundreds or probably thousands of the spring loaded, you pull it apart and slip your smartphone in it and then screw it into a
Hmm.
quarter 20, those clamp mounts. Well, he released one that's actually big enough to handle all the iPads because I've got the new 13-inch M4 from last year and it can open wide enough even for that bugger. And
Really?
I was like,
Wow.
wow. Now I can actually mount a large tripod or a large iPad on my tripod or my platypod if I wanted to use it as a cinema camera or something like that. I can. And
Oh,
then
interesting.
the other cool thing that he came out with is mag mounts for
Mm.
the newer iPhones that all have the MagSafe. He's got these magnetic
Hmm.
rings now that he offers that you can screw onto your platypod or onto any quarter 20, and then you can magnetically attach your iPhone. And that's just, oh, that's so cool. Because to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of clamp mounts just because they're inconvenient. Because like I have the Insta360 Flow Pro and the Flow Pro 2. And the first thing
Hmm.
I did with both of them is I went online and I got magnetic solid rings for them that snap onto your phone's MagSafe and then magnetically attach to the Flow, and you're good to go. Because I hated using the clamp mounts. And the biggest thing is you have to get it in just the right spot so the clamps don't hit all the freaking buttons on the side of your phone.
Oh, yeah, I know, that's the worst part. Yeah, that and it pinches my fingers, like, I'm
Yep,
with you, I hate those clamp mounts so much. So
exactly.
when I switched to iPhone, like, about 4 years ago, I think, and that was the
Yep.
first thing where I was like, "MagSafe, how did I not know about this?" It's been a game changer.
Oh, absolutely. Now, another thing that I really wanted to talk to you about, because you do tons of this kind of content, and I get audience members that'll email me or they'll message me and ask questions that they want me to ask you. I won't give out your email address because I don't want you getting inundated with stuff like that. And I tell them, I'm like, just comment on her video, or if you did and she
Mhm,
didn't happen to see it, I'll ping her the next time I talk to her. The big thing lately that a lot of people are going back and forth on and have a lot of questions on that I wanted to pick your brain about, because I know you've done a lot of the comparisons, are the wireless mic systems that are currently on the
hmm.
market. So you got DJI Mic 2, you got the Rode Pro. Rode's got like three or four of them. I can't even keep track of them all. They got the Rode Pro, they got the Rode Me or something like that. And I
Mhm.
know DJI just released the Mic Mini, and then you got Holly Lark with their M2, and you got Ceramonic with the Ultra. So if you could, I want to have you share a little bit of your experience with the different mic systems and your overall thoughts on them. Now, I know you cover a lot of this in your comparison videos,
Mhm.
but I wanted to get more your direct take on your experience with them. And this isn't to bash any of the companies, just so my listeners know, or the companies know if they hear this. I just want to get another user's opinion directly on your experience with these audio systems. I have most all of them and I love them all. They all are great in different ways, but I wanted to get your take on it because I've been asked that a lot.
Yeah, sure. So it's a crazy market. I feel like there are more options than you've even listed. There are brands popping up every day around like I've never even heard of you, but they have, wireless mic options. So yeah, there are tons and tons of options. I would say at this point, like pretty much any new product that you come across, it's going to be great. Like they're all really, really good. So it really is going to come down to your budget and your personal preference about which one is going to work best for you. Because I do feel like some of them, especially like Ceramonic and Hollyland, like they tend to offer features that are slightly different because I feel like they need to stand out more from Rode and DJI because those are, the more prominent brands that people are familiar with. But for me, I end up sticking with DJI just because at this point they're building up such a big ecosystem with their cameras. And so pretty much any of their new compact cameras are compatible with their mic systems, which is such a smart thing for a company to do. Because now it's like, okay, I've got the action camera, I've got the Pocket 3. I just got their 360 camera, and all three of those cameras are compatible via Bluetooth with their DJI microphones. So it's kind of a no-brainer of like, well, I'd rather just stay in the ecosystem because I know it's going to work. I can use it wirelessly. And, I think most of the DJI mics, pretty much all of them, you can use them with a mirrorless camera, a DSLR, compact camera, your phone. So, yeah, I just roll with one DJI microphone and I can use it with all my devices. So, but that's a personal preference. Like I said, pretty much any other brand at this point, like they're all on par in terms of sound quality.
Oh, yeah. And I agree with you 100%. And it's interesting. I love that you brought up that aspect of DJI because that's something I've been thinking about over the last year or so with their products. It's like, you know what? They are getting with their camera and audio ecosystem, they're getting to the level that Apple is. It's
Hmm.
like you turn on your DJI Pocket 3, you pull one of the Mic 2 transmitters or even Mic Mini transmitter out of its case, bam, within seconds it's connected and ready to work with the camera. You don't have to do anything.
Mhm.
It's just pull it out, bam, just like with the AirPods. You pull them out of the case the first time, or open the case the first time, your phone sees it, you hit connect, bam, you got audio, which is really awesome.
Yeah, and it's so reliable. Like, I feel like I use them all the time, and I've never had a problem with them. So
Oh, I agree 100%. I use mine a lot. Now, the one that intrigued me, and I bought this, actually, all of my mic systems, I think I bought myself with a couple of exceptions. But I bought the Ceramonic Ultra wireless system, which is so funny because if you look at that system and the DJI Mic 2, they look virtually identical. It's almost like Ceramonic stole DJI's design.
Mhm,
I mean, it's
mhm.
crazy how much they look alike, and I'm surprised there hasn't been a lawsuit about that already. Um, but the one thing that intrigued me with Ceramonic, and I haven't tried this yet myself, is unlike the other companies, Ceramonic actually gives you an attachable antenna for the receiver
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
supposed to give you even better range line of sight so your audio doesn't drop out. But now I haven't tried this and I don't know if you have or not, so we'll get your take if you have. I haven't tried mine yet, but I've seen several videos where even with the external mic connected to the receiver, the audio is still dropping out before it did with other systems. So I thought that was kind of odd, unless maybe the couple of videos I've seen on YouTube, they got defective antennas or defective units or what, because I haven't tried it yet myself. I'm planning to, but I just haven't. And I didn't know if you had tested the external antenna yet or not.
I did, yeah, I did have I think I might still have that microphone downstairs somewhere. So, yeah, I do remember testing it, and, it actually worked well for me, but I do think, again, like, I also have seen other people not have great success with the antenna, so it could be that there are a bunch of faulty units out there. So I would say if you do buy that microphone, that should be one of the first things that you test to make sure that that feature actually works, because if it doesn't, you might wanna try to exchange it for another one and see if, that fixes it. But, yeah, for me, it actually did work, and it was one of their bigger selling points, I would say, compared to other mics. Because, like, I think Saramonic and, Boya and some of these other ones, they do have to come up with other features like that to make them stand out compared to some of their bigger competitors.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that's huge that really boosts a company's wireless mic systems, and more of them are doing it now, is the 32-bit float. That's huge.
Mhm,
That's a game changer
mhm.
right there. And then the internal recording. That's
Yes.
like DJI's Mic 2 is so awesome. I think it has like 8 gigs of internal storage or something like that, which
Mhm.
doesn't sound like a lot, but you can fit quite a bit of audio on one of those before you have to empty it back out. And having the 32-bit float built in as well, so you don't have to worry about your audio clipping and all of those issues. And yeah, I know you talked about it in your review video on the Mic 2 system. It's great because you can turn the internal recording on, even if you don't plan on needing it. And then the
Mhm.
beautiful part about, and I have mine set that way by default because if I remember correctly, you can leave it turned on all the time. Because
Yep.
I know now every time I record a video with my Pocket 3 and then I download, I always have the separate WAV file
Mhm.
with just my audio. Plus, I have the copy that's attached to the video itself. So, I mean, that's a game changer right there because if you're shooting outside and you do hit that limit where you get too far from your receiver, if you're using the receiver, or too far away from the camera and your audio drops a bit, you still got a clean copy on the internal storage that you can use to save the video, which is huge. That's a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually think that's one of the non-negotiables that I need on a wireless mic system, which has been a little tough for me because lately I've really been liking the DJI Mic Mini because it's so small, but it does not have that built-in recording. And the last couple of times that I've used it, I've been using it with my phone a lot, and so plugging the receiver into my phone, and I haven't been plugging it in the full way. So sometimes, like, I've not been recording my audio. So I've had a couple of times where I've been like, man, I needed the internal recording because now my whole video's gone bust. It has no audio on it. So I think they
Exactly.
just came out with the Mic 3, which I have not been able to test out yet.
Oh my
But I
God.
believe that one is about the size of the Mic Mini, but I think it has internal recording. So that's
Oh,
probably going to make me switch to it.
you know what? I think you're right because I think I saw somebody that did a comparison review just a couple of days ago, and they were
Hmm.
comparing the Mic 3 to the Mic Mini and talking about how much it's similar in the size, the form factor, but that
Hmm.
I can't swear to this, but I think it does have both 32-bit flow and internal recording.
I think so. The only thing it's lacking, and the main criticism I had and still do, is that you can't plug in an external lavalier microphone. So that's the only kind of holdup with it, I would say. But everything else sounds pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't. I guess when you got that small of a form factor, I get you do have limited space because it's got to have room for a battery, and it's got to have room for the flash storage for the internal recording. So I guess I can see why it would be harder to put a lavalier jack on the top because they probably
Hmm.
don't have any space left trying to keep
Right,
it that
right.
tiny. The other thing, and I'm also curious as to how much more expensive the Mic 3 is versus the Mic 2 because I had the Mic 1 and
Hmm.
then I saw your review of the Mic 2 and I was like, oh my God, I got to get the Mic 2. So I sold my Mic 1, I got the Mic 2. But if I remember correctly, the Mic 2, when it came out, sold for the same price that the Mic 1 did when it originally came out. So they didn't up the price at all, but they gave us a bunch of new capabilities and features. And I don't know if that's the case with the Mic 3 or if because of the extremely small form factor, they jacked the price up a bit. I'm not sure on that.
Let's see. So I just looked it up. It says it's 329, which isn't bad actually. But it's out of stock, and so that's what I've been hearing is that it's just been very hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, and it's probably because they just released it. They sent a crap ton of freebies out to influencers to do unboxing reviews, and they're not up to speed yet on manufacturing. Because I've noticed that with all these big companies, whether it's DJI or back when I still used their stuff, GoPro or Insta 360. It's like yeah, they hype up this brand new product that's coming out. Oh, it's going to be out on September 28th, blah, blah, blah. And they have their big event and all that stuff. And then you go to order one and it's like, don't have them.
Mhm, mhm.
or you can only get one if you're one of the first 10 people to get to their site and place your order. And then you got to wait because they still have to ramp up the actual production at the factory.
Yeah.
Um, which I don't know. I'm not sure why they don't ramp it up earlier. I mean, I know it could be risky, but it's like, come on. I mean, look at Insta 360. They've been crushing it with
It's
their
true,
action
yeah.
cameras. Them and DJI have both been just crushing everybody with their action cameras. And it's
Mhm.
like, so, okay, so you got the Ace Pro 2 coming out. You know darn well the Ace Pro 1 sold like crazy. So you should just ramp up production of the Ace Pro 2 immediately so you can sell, 50,000 of them your first month.
You would think.
But they don't. They're always behind. And I think some of that has to do with the fact that most of the manufacturing for these products is happening overseas.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and this isn't a knock or anything. I don't want people to think that because I mean, a lot of this stuff, to be honest, is made in China. And they
Mhm.
have some incredible factories over there as far as making quality products. I mean, they just have incredible factories for that stuff and they can ramp up quickly. The bugger is the delay for the stuff to get here from China or Taiwan or Japan or India or wherever they're manufacturing it. You got the delay of waiting because they're not going to put all that stuff. I'm assuming they probably don't put them all on a plane because it's too
Yeah,
expensive. So it's like
yeah.
if you're going to ship a million X5s Insta 360, you're shipping a million or 2 million of them. You're probably throwing them in a shipping container and sending them over by water. So
Mhm.
that's going to take several days or a week or more to get here, depending on what route they can take and weather and all that stuff. So I think a lot of that has to do with why they don't have sufficient quantities when they launch. But that's just my input.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Now the other big thing with the microphones, and this is something I definitely wanted to get your expertise on because I don't personally use it. I don't know if you do or not. But even if you don't use it, I think you do talk about it. Is so currently of the ones you've tested, just so my listeners will know, because I've had this question quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. Which of the wireless mic systems have and I don't know if any of them do or if only one or two of them do, but the big thing I get is who has 32-bit record or the 32-bit float, internal
Mhm.
recording, and time coding. Is there any of the ones that you've tested that offer all three? Because that's like the holy grail for a lot of people.
I know that Rode definitely does their Wireless Pro. They might be. Yeah, I'm not sure about time code. That's because I don't actually use time code. So whenever I do talk about it, I just kind of mention it. I don't say much more. So that's the one I'm not sure. But I know that Rode. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure that Rode does.
Yeah,
But
I'm fairly certain the Rode does, but only on the Wireless Pro. But
right.
I can't
Yeah.
swear
Yeah.
to it, but I could have sworn because I only, like you, I just glossed over it in my review of the system. But I want to say, I almost thought the Ceramonic Ultra did all three as well, but I think they and Rode were the only two that did.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure which Saramonic because I've tested quite a few of them, but I know that at least one of their models does. I'm pretty sure because again, they tend to have to stand out a bit, so they do throw in extra pro level features like that in some of their mics.
Yep. Well,
Let me look it up real
and the
quick.
other thing
Saramonic.
is for listeners that don't know, because a lot of people don't know this, Ceramonic and Rode are both primarily audio companies. So they've been making microphones and mixers and all that stuff for decades. And it's surprising how many people are shocked by that because like people have heard of Rode, they've heard of Shure, they've heard of Yeti mics, and it's like, okay, why do I keep running into people that you mentioned Ceramonic and they look at you like you got two heads? It's like Ceramonic's been around for a long time doing audio gear. It's just they only more recently got into the compact wireless stuff.
I actually feel like I'm not positive about this, but I feel like they were one of the first to come out with a consumer level and consumer priced wireless mic. I don't remember the name of it, but I actually had it somewhere. But before even DJI did, Saramonic came out with one of the maybe the first, if not one of the first, consumer level wireless
Yeah,
mics.
I think you're right too. Because if I remember correctly, the first one they released was primarily for your smartphone.
Hmm.
Um, and I still have mine here somewhere because they sent me one and I did a review on. I think it was like the Blink something
Yes,
something
the Blink.
Pro. I can't
Uh huh.
remember the model number, but I know it was Blink and it had Pro on it. And it had the ability to plug into both Lightning and USB-C smart devices. So you could use it with your phone or your tablet, or if you had a computer that did, or I mean, a camera that did USB-C for audio input, you could do it. You could use it with them too. But I tested that thing. Now it wasn't a cheap system. I think when it first came out, it was close to $300. But boy,
Mm.
the audio on that thing is incredible. I mean, for as tiny as those pieces are, the components, it's incredible the audio you get with them.
Yeah, yeah, they're kind of a lesser known brand, which is unfortunate. But I feel like they are trying to become more well known, and it's definitely like they're releasing new products all the time. So
Yeah,
hopefully that's helping people know about them more. But yeah, they are definitely one of the underrated wireless mic systems out there.
yeah, and they do make good gear. I mean, there's no two
Hmm.
ways about it. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you about related to, again, because I've been getting a lot of the audio questions lately, and I know you've done a lot of this stuff, so I wanted to get your opinion because I value it. My listeners value your opinion because you've been doing this longer than I have, on YouTube and all that stuff. And the performance in general, and this is again not knocking any manufacturer, doesn't really have anything to do with the manufacturers, it's the technology. Have you been running into more frequent issues, especially when you travel with using these wireless systems, because every one of them is 2.4 gigahertz and everything in the world is on 2.4 gigahertz. So
Mm.
do you run into frequent interference problems or is that minimal to non-existent? Because I've run into it here and there at tourist destinations. It can be frustrating. So I actually have, when I go on road trips, just in case, and I hate to have to lug it with me, but just in case I need it, I have a really good UHF transmitter and mic
Mm.
system with receiver. And I actually have four mics. It came as a kit. So I have four individual transmitters and then the master receiver. And I've had to use that a couple of times just because, and again, it's not a knock on any of the companies. It's just there's so much stuff on 2.4 gigahertz that,
Mhm.
to me at least, it's not uncommon to hit interference. How have you had
Hmm.
that experience?
I really have not. And I think it's partially because, well, I really only use one wireless mic system. So lately it's just been the DJI Mic Mini. And so that has not given me any interference problems. But also for travel, we have not been really using wireless mics just because with two kids, it's like we just don't have the time anymore to like stop and set up a microphone. If I clip it to my shirt, the kids are going to pull it off or, we're going to lose them. So we've been going without the wireless mics for better or for worse, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I really wish we'd use a wireless mic in this situation. But I would say that lately, I use DaVinci Resolve to edit, and DaVinci Resolve has been coming out with some really great like AI related features. And one of them is like a noise cancellation feature, which has actually been working so well. So it's been helping me go without wireless mics lately, just in the travel space anyway.
Oh, wow. Now, I just recently, as a matter of fact, it was earlier this past week, I just finally downloaded Resolve 20 point something. I can't remember what version it is. And I hadn't played
Mhm.
around with it really at all yet. So I didn't know they added all that new AI audio stuff to it. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, there's more features than I know of, but that was one I think Martin told me. He's like, "Oh, there's this new AI audio feature you should try," and it's the only one that I've seen so far. I know that there's much, much more, but that's one I've been using on pretty much all of my videos now. Just like, it's actually good, like noise cancellation, because I feel like it tends to be a little too strong with certain programs and certain wireless mics, but I feel like they're doing it in a way that it sounds pretty natural and sounds
Yeah.
good.
Now, see, I have both. I use primarily Final Cut just
Hmm.
because I've been using it for a long time. I got it as part of a bundle, so I got Final Cut and Logic, and they have two other mini apps that have to do with creating your own animations, and one has to do with something else. I can't remember what it's called, but I got them all as a bundle when I was a college student, so I got them at a discount, and they're perpetual. So once you have them in
Hmm.
in the App Store, you get all the upgrades forever, free of charge. So, but I,
Hmm.
I have played around with DaVinci Resolve, but oh, that's got more of a learning curve, quite a bit
It
more.
does, it
Yeah.
does, yeah.
So
I was a Final Cut user for a long time, and again, Martin was into DaVinci Resolve, and he kept telling me, "Switch to Resolve, it's so much better." It took me about 5 years to finally do it, but yeah, one I think it was in a summertime, I was like, "Alright, I'm gonna spend the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna go all in Resolve and just learn it." And yeah, it took me about a week, I would say, to get comfortable with it. So, it's been worth it to I think, to switch over.
oh yeah, and I know it's pretty much the industry standard in Hollywood. I know a lot of the studios use Resolve for their editing and their
Mhm.
post production. But I just gotta make the time to sit down and really, really learn all the ins and outs of it because I know it can do some incredible stuff. And
Mhm.
and it's not a knock on Final Cut because Final Cut is crazy good too, especially with the last couple of updates that Apple released. It's gotten really good. And being I don't have a fixed studio space for my YouTube videos,
Mhm.
I sometimes will shoot them outdoors on my gazebo in the front yard, and sometimes I use my wife hates it, but I swipe her beautiful butcher block counter in the kitchen to shoot a video or something like that because my
Yeah.
studio building still isn't finished. Um,
Mm.
but I have noticed with Final Cut that I really love is let's say I'm shooting a video at my gazebo and some jerk goes by with a pickup truck with loud exhaust. And the first time this happened to me, I'm like, oh my God, that take's ruined. I'm going to have to shoot it all over again. And I was like, you know what? Before I do, because I talked to a buddy of mine, he's like, no, put it in Final Cut. It'll be able to clean it up.
Hmm.
And I put it in Final Cut and I went to the audio tab when I had the video selected and I checked the box that says isolate vocals. And then
Hmm.
there's a little magic wand that you can click and it'll analyze the audio for your entire clip and then optimize it and do the voice isolation at the same time. And it blew me away because when I played it back, I saw through the trees in the background, I saw the guy's truck go by, but couldn't hear his exhaust in my video at all. I
Really?
was like,
Huh.
wow, that is awesome.
Wow, okay. I didn't know yeah, I have not played with Final Cut in a while now, but I've heard some great things about the update, so maybe I need to go back and and check it out.
Well, no, no, no,
I'm curious.
don't get me in trouble now, girl. Come on,
Well,
Martin got you
no,
switched over to Resolve. He'll be coming and beating me up for getting you back on Final Cut.
not switch back. From that comparison perspective, right? Of like, I always want to try things just to make videos about them. Be like, hey, is Final Cut as good as Resolve in terms of voice isolation? Like, that's a good question. I kind of want to test that out.
Oh yeah, yeah. Final Cut really rocks at that, and I haven't
Hmm.
played with the audio set capabilities as much in Resolve just because I haven't used Resolve. And to be honest, the only
Hmm.
reason why I have Resolve is because at one time, and I'm terrible. You can tease me about this. At one time, I was like, you know what? I want to try to make my YouTube videos a little more polished and professional. What the heck? I'm making good money. My day job. I'm going to go ahead and get a Blackmagic Cinema camera. So I
Mm.
got the Pocket Cinema 4K,
Hmm.
and I had that thing for I don't know 3 or 4 months. I ended up getting rid of it. I was like, I
Mm.
fired that thing up, and I'm like, what in God's name is all this crap on the screen? I don't know what to do with any of it. I could not figure that camera out for the life of me. I would shoot a
Hmm.
section of video that I thought looked great, and then I'd play it back and it would be blown out or it'd be underexposed or it would be this, it'd be. I'm like, this freaking camera is too hard to use if you're not a cinematographer. So I ended up getting rid of it.
Interesting.
But
Interesting.
when you buy their cameras, you get their software for free.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you don't get a disc or anything. It's just inside with the warranty card is a key code. You just go to their site, you download the software, enter the code, and bam, you got a perpetual license.
Mm.
So I sold
Very
the
nice.
camera, but the guy I sold the
Hmm.
camera to, he already had Resolve as well. He had one of their older cameras, so he didn't care about the software
Mm.
aspect. So I got to keep the software.
Mm.
And when I first bought my Pocket Cinema 4K, I think they were Resolve, I want to say 16. So I've gotten
Hmm.
free upgrades all this time from 16 to 20 plus, and it didn't cost me anything.
That is nice.
Yeah, and I know if you buy their software, it's I don't remember how expensive it is. I think it's a couple $100 if you have to buy the studio edition, but
Hmm.
it's like, man, that's not really bad considering you get a perpetual license, so you get free upgrades for life or until they decide to cut us off, and they haven't so far.
Well, you know that there's a free version of Resolve, so you don't even have to pay for the pro version. And the
Yeah,
free version actually can do quite a bit. So I tell people now, if you're getting started with video editing, I mean, you have to be aware of the learning curve. It's not easy to use, but it's free to use. So if you're going to be serious about getting into video, I would say just bite the bullet, get free Resolve, learn how to use it. And you'll be using the software that is, yeah, becoming an industry standard for people that make videos professionally. And if you need to, upgrade to the paid version, you can at any time. But honestly, you can do so much with that free version. You don't really ever have to pay for it, depending on what you want to do with it.
wow. Now I knew they had a free version, but I'd never tried it, so I wasn't sure how good it was. But
It's pretty good.
I've heard a lot of reviews that say it's actually very good for being
Yeah.
the stripped down version. You can still do a lot with it.
Yeah, you can.
And
Hmm.
I like companies that do that because that's how you get somebody into your software.
Hmm.
Give them a stripped down version that's still fairly capable for free, and then you'll hook them. And once they get used to your software, especially if it's complex like Resolve is, and they get really good at using it, then they're going to be like, okay, I got the free version, but the paid version's got all these extra cool additional features that I could really use as my channel's growing or my independent filmmaking's growing or whatever. And then bam, you got a buying customer now. Because Capture
Hmm.
One used to do the same thing. A lot of people didn't know this, but Capture One had a partnership with both Sony and Fujifilm. So
Really?
you bought one of their cameras, you got a free copy of Capture One, totally free, and it was a perpetual copy. All it was is it was a version that was pared down for just your camera system. So it only worked,
Wow.
it only could process Fujifilm RAW files or only Sony RAW files. And if you wanted the universal version, you had to buy that. But I know I talked to some of the guys at Capture One because they're actually headquartered in Atlanta. I don't know if you know this or
Mm.
not, but they're owned by Phase One, the medium format camera company.
Oh, I did not
And
know that.
yeah,
No.
yeah, and they're headquartered in Atlanta, and I lived down there for almost 20 years. And they said they got so many paying customers just from giving away the Express Edition with Fujifilm and Sony cameras, because
Mm.
the people would buy the camera, get the Express version of the software, they get used to using it, And then especially the big thing for them was when Adobe first went subscription only.
Yes.
Capture One got so many sales for their
Hmm.
perpetual full blown edition because people didn't want to pay the subscription. And I didn't want
Yep.
to pay a subscription. And so I did away with Adobe for a long time. And then unfortunately, last year, frickin' Capture One went to subscription.
Oh, did
They're
they?
more expensive than Adobe is.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
it really broke my heart. I mean, I can still
Oh,
use my perpetual edition, but it's not going to support, newer modified versions of camera manufacturers' raw files for the latest camera bodies. So
yeah.
I'd be
Interesting.
pickled there. I could only use it for cameras' raw files from like the XT5 back, and
Hmm.
anything
Hmm.
newer, I'm going to be stuck. I won't be able to use it anymore. And I'm like, oh man. So right now, because I got some real estate gigs recently that I needed to do some AI work with,
Hmm.
it's, I shot this brand new house for a real estate agent, and the developer was finishing the house. The seller wanted to already have the house on the developer wanted to have it already listed on the market available for sale, and they didn't, because most of the real estate photography I've done, they're rental houses. Big
Hmm.
companies, big corporations own them, and they rent them out like Rentley and companies like that, Open Door and all that stuff. And but this guy, he wanted the house photographed, but he wanted furniture and appliances in it.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, wow. The only way I know I can do all of that is I'm going to have to bite the bullet and pay for a subscription to Photoshop again. And sure enough,
Hmm.
Photoshop could do it all. But man, I don't like being stuck in that subscription for another year, because I don't know if you know this or not, but the other stinker with Adobe is, and they hide this in their fine print, if you sign up even on the monthly plan, you're still considered committed for a full year. So if
Oh.
you want to cancel 2 months down the road, they expect you to pay a penalty of like $350.
What?
Yeah, to
Okay.
cancel. And it's ticked off a lot of people, and they've had some lawsuits over that, but I don't know if it's all been settled yet or not.
Wow, I did not know that, but because I just pay annually for Adobe. I've been paying them for way too long, and it's just I know Photoshop too well, and same thing. I was like, would love to go over to something else like, I don't know, Luminar or something that's not subscription based, but just need the time to learn how to use another program. So
Yeah.
yeah, I am in the Adobe subscription model as well, but
Yep.
just for Photoshop.
Well, I can tell you, because I've used Luminar for quite a few years now. Luminar Neo, absolutely
Hmm.
amazing. Oh, they've got some crazy AI features built into that bad boy. They have, in my opinion, I haven't played around with it most recently in Adobe, but it hasn't been that long. I know, in my opinion, Luminar's background remover for subjects is better than Adobe's is.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, Adobe's I still have make glitches quite a bit when it's removed. Not always, but
Hmm.
sometimes if the what do I want to say? If the two objects, the contrast between them kind of bleeds into each other a little bit too much, Adobe will
Hmm.
fail to remove it where Luminar will still get it.
Oh,
And
wow.
that just blows me away. And Luminar has some crazy good, they've had this for years. Their AI sky replacement is just
Hmm.
mind blowing. Oh my God. It does a fantastic job of changing a blah sky to a beautiful blue and with white fluffy clouds, or it'll generate a sunset sky for you or a sunrise sky for you with all the colors. It's really cool. It does take a little bit to learn Luminar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I tend to use multiple photo editing programs. I'm not crazy about the idea, but they all have certain things that I like, because I also like another good one that is really starting to ramp up their AI stuff. If you haven't tried, you can do the free trial, I think, for a month too. Another one you might want to consider as a replacement for Adobe is On One Photo Raw.
Okay, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, because their AI is getting really mind blowing too, as far as what it can do.
Really?
They've
Okay.
gone really all in on the AI stuff, just like Luminar and Adobe have. Yeah,
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'll add it to my list.
absolutely. Always love to share information on stuff like that, and I'm sure it probably helps you too, because
Hmm.
you got a hectic life, especially with two little ones now. So, and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was funny when you were talking about the microphone. And you said it just as it popped into my head. I was thinking, I know she's going to say she can't use the wireless systems because she clips the lavalier to herself, and her kids are like, ooh, something pretty to play with.
Pretty much, yep. I try to clip it on them because, it's nice to be able to get audio directly from them, but it stays on for about 5 seconds till they pull it off and they throw it, somewhere.
Yep.
So,
I can just imagine them like, wait a minute, Mom,
yeah,
what's this thing that's hanging off me?
yeah,
I don't want
yeah,
this.
pretty much,
And they
yep.
don't
It's a great
understand it.
idea, but not
Yep.
for kids.
They don't understand that mommy put it there so mommy could get audio off you. Mommy's using
Right,
you as a human boom, mic boom.
exactly, it's not a toy.
Oh goodness, yeah, I can imagine because I remember when my grandkids were little, and it was tough to use microphones around them because oh my God,
Mhm.
anything that caught their eye, they had to yank on.
Yeah, it's tough to use any camera gear around them
Oh
because, we
yeah.
used to travel with our Fuji films. That's why we got Fuji was to be more compact when we travel. But lately, like we brought it to Canada because it was a road trip. We just had it in the car and we never touched that camera for 3 weeks. It just sat in the car. Just because we had so many other things to juggle. It's like I can't imagine keeping track of a camera and then finding the time to use a proper camera.
Oh, I can imagine. Now, I didn't get into trying this one yet myself because, and this might be just me, I thought the price was a little bit steep on it because I love one of the things I love from Insta360 is my Go 3S. That little
Hmm.
bullet, that little pill camera that's
Hmm.
like the size of a giant pill that you swallow.
Yeah.
I love that thing. And they just came out with their Ultra, which is a
Hmm.
more square version, but still very small. And you can wear it with the magnetic pendant and all that stuff. But it came out and I went on their website and I looked and I'm like, whoa, that's quite a bit more expensive than the 3S was.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
haven't tried that, but that was one thing. Um, because I'm sure you probably got one. Have you had any luck trying to use something like that that's attached to you when you're traveling? So, oh, of course, your kids are probably going to grab that too.
Yeah. Yeah, that Go Ultra, so it actually comes with they call it like the toddler Titan mode. So I think the idea is that you're supposed and then I think you have to have another lens with it that's kind of like a macro lens, but the idea is that they want you to put that on like a kid's hat and capture their perspective. And I'm like, I don't know if
Oh,
you guys have actually tried to put that on a kid because my kids will not have even a hat on their heads. So forget
yeah.
about trying to put a camera on their heads.
Tell me about
But
it.
the thing with the Go Ultra that they're getting a lot of flack for, at least in my videos, I'm seeing people comment about this a lot, is that it is a lot heavier and bigger than the Go 3S. It's still compact, but compared to the Go 3S, it is a lot heavier. So when I am trying to wear it on the hat mount in particular, I can really feel it where I'm like, man, my hat is like falling off. Like I can't keep it stabilized because
Wow.
it's heavier. But, for that, you're able to now have, internal storage. You can put in your own SD card. You can't do that with the Go 3S.
Hmm.
You have 4K 60, so they've added some, pro level features to it, but at the compromise of making the camera a little bit bigger and heavier, so it's a little bit harder to use it as a wearable camera.
Yeah, I wondered about that. And I'm glad you were able to share that perspective on it. Because, like I said, I haven't had a chance to try it myself. And one of the things I love about my Go 3S is I can just clip it on the brim of a hat, or I can magnetically stick it to a flagpole or a metal fence post, or I can put the necklace underneath my shirt and it magnetically attaches through my shirt, which is fantastic.
Mhm,
I absolutely
mhm.
love that. But
Yeah.
and the other big thing I love, and I believe they did it with the Ultra like they did the 3S. One of the main reasons why I upgraded from the Go 3 to the Go 3S was the Go 3S had built-in Find My tracking. And I
Yes,
was like,
yeah, that is
oh my
huge.
God, I gotta have that. That's huge. Because what I was doing before, and I still do to some extent, is like for my regular cameras, Small Rig makes a couple of different options you can get from them. One of them is a Arca Swiss plate that you can put on the bottom of your camera, and it has a little metal door, and you have to use a special 6-star screwdriver, one of the star
Mhm.
screwdriver bits, and you take out the screws, pull the door off, and you can hide an Apple AirTag inside. So I do that for
Oh.
my big cameras. But with
Mhm.
my action cameras, I have to like basically I got to keep an air tag in the carrying bag that I normally keep the camera in, and then pray to God they don't
Mhm.
get separated. So far I haven't lost one, but man, when the Go 3S came out with that built-in Find My, I was like, okay, Go 3,
Mhm.
you're gone. I'm going to the Go 3S because I can just track the camera itself. I don't have to have an air
Mhm.
tag with it. And I believe the Go Ultra has that functionality too, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, it has that, and you're still able to use it in the same way that you can with the Go 3S. It comes with that necklace mount, it comes with a hat mount, you can magnetically attach it places. It's a bit heavier and chunkier compared to the Go
Yeah.
3S.
Yeah, that was
So,
my
yeah,
big
it's
thing is the
yeah,
size, the weight. But I do love the fact that you can use a micro SD card with it. It's like, why didn't they give us that with
exactly.
the Go 3S? Now they need to
Right.
release a Go 4S that's got micro SD.
I mean, they probably will at some point. So that's kind of the speculation of like they went Go Ultra, so it's kind of like their pro level version. So they're probably going to continue along the smaller line of cameras as well at some
Yeah,
point.
that's what I was thinking. The only thing that drives me crazy is these companies are cranking out new products too quickly.
I agree. I
Oh my
agree.
God. I mean, I had just literally bought, and I do a little bit of 360 video, but not much. I like to have a camera for when I do want to do it, but I don't do it a lot. And
Yeah.
so when I got away from all my GoPro stuff, because I just got tired of my GoPros overheating and locking up and stuff like that, and I'd used GoPro
Mhm.
for years. Um,
Mhm.
I got and it was the newest one at the time. I got the Insta360 X3, and I literally had that thing for like 3 months, and they released the X4. I'm like, really?
Mhm.
Come on. And then
Yeah.
and I didn't upgrade because I'm like, you know what? I don't shoot 360 footage enough to warrant upgrading the camera every bloody year. And I'm glad I didn't because it seemed like the X4 had only been on the market for 6 months and they'd already released the X5.
Yeah, it's way too fast. I can't keep up with it either.
Oh, it's gotta. Now, hopefully, you're probably being your channel's quite a bit bigger than mine. You're probably getting to the point where more of them are starting to send you at least loaner ones that you can review and send back, or they send them to you and you get to keep them. So that probably helps. But yeah, I mean, unless you're already a multimillionaire, I'm not buying every instant action camera that comes out every bloody year so I can review it. It's just
Yeah, I
not
know.
when they're $500 and $600 a camera. It's like, my God, holy cow! I
Right.
just spent $600 on last year's model. Now you want me to spend another 600 on this year's model? It's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's just too much. Now what I did with the GoPros is I didn't fall for that because GoPro was releasing a new model like every freaking year too. And
Mhm.
so what I would do is I would get a GoPro and then I would wait 2 or 3 years until they had really stacked up a bunch of new tech and features, and then I would upgrade because it was like, there's no
Yeah.
way I'm spending $500 every year on a new GoPro.
Yeah, you don't need to, in fact, because
No.
yeah, GoPro is one of the original cameras that did that. I feel like because back
Hmm.
in Canon DSLR days, you knew that you could wait about 3 years until the next Canon came out, and now it's kind of on a crazy release schedule with all these cameras. But GoPro, yeah, they've always been on an annual release schedule. In fact, I think the Hero 14 is supposed to come out sometime soon, and who knows what that's going to have.
Yeah, not surprising. Now, one thing
Yeah.
I will give them, and I know you talked about it because you really loved it too, was what was it? Was it the Hero 13 that had that new aspect ratio, the 8:7 or whatever? Was it
Ooh, let me see. I don't
was
remember
it the
which
third?
model.
I want to say it
It
was the Hero 13 or maybe it was the 12. I
it
can't remember.
was yeah, maybe 12. It was not the 13. The 13 it had been there before. But yeah, it's like the 11 or 12 or something like that
Yeah, I think it
is when
was
they
the
first
12
came out.
because I don't think I ever had the 13. And I remember
Yeah.
I did like that new aspect ratio as well. But
Mhm.
I mean, the big thing with them is they just don't, it's like they lost their way, when it comes to
Mhm.
innovating. I mean, they were the pioneers, they're the ones that started the whole action camera madness. And then along come DJI and Insta360, and they're just blowing them out of the water now.
I know.
It's like
Yeah.
GoPro has been on the market for and again, I'm not trying to be mean to GoPro. Maybe if somebody at GoPro hears this, they'll rethink things a little bit, but it's just disappointing that GoPro was the pioneer. They were first to the market. They've been on the market the longest. And yet you take companies like DJI with their Osmo Action 5 and Insta360 with their Ace and Ace Pro and Ace Pro 2. their low light performance is like light years ahead of GoPro. And
And I
it's
would say at
like,
this point,
GoPro, where
yeah.
did you fall down on this crap? Because it's like the first Ace Pro had 10 times better low light performance than GoPro, who's been around for 15, 20 years.
Yeah, and I would say at this point, if they don't get the message with their Hero 14 and increase the low light performance, then it's like, wow, you're really not listening to feedback because it's the number one thing people want to see on action cameras is better low light performance. So yeah, hopefully something new comes out. I will say with the Hero 13, like they're going further into the detachable lenses for action cameras, which is an interesting idea, but you have to wonder how many people actually want to do that with their action cameras.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
I don't think I would be into the whole interchangeable lens action camera. I
Mhm.
love the fact that like Insta360 especially, and I think they were the first ones to do it, or maybe they're still the only ones to do it. On some of their cameras, they actually give you the ability to replace your lens glass yourself
Mhm.
if it gets
Mhm.
broken or scratched really badly. And I
Yeah.
love that. Now, I guess, well, in a manner of speaking, I guess GoPro had that too, because on some of their later models, you could twist the glass part of the lens and spin it off, and you could swap it out for their what was that one mod they had? They had that one mod that gave you the ultra wide view, and then
Oh, yes.
they had another
Mhm.
one they sold that I this was one thing I really loved, but now everybody's doing it. Is I remember when GoPro first released their Max Lens mod,
Mhm.
and you put that on your GoPro, and you could literally spin it like a top, and the footage would stay upright and horizon locked the whole time.
Mhm.
So it was just like you weren't spinning the camera, even though you were. And I was like, oh my God, that's freaking amazing. And now everybody's got it. but,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I think, so, I mean, I guess in a way, GoPro did kind of give us the ability to change out the lenses if they got damaged. But I think, Insta360 has really run with that because I believe the X5, you can change the lenses out yourself if they get damaged. I think you could on the 4 and maybe even the 3 that I have, but I'm not going to swear to that. Where a
I
lot
think
of
the
the other action
X5.
cameras, you had to send them back to them to get the glass replaced.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's the X5 is the only one right now that you can do it yourself because they made a huge push for that. Like I wasn't part of their launch, but so many people were like, smashing the lens for the video and showing how they could, replace it yourself. So they made a huge marketing campaign about that. But but yeah, I think it's only for their 360 cameras. I think their action cameras, yeah, you can just twist off the filter and replace it that way. But yeah, we'll see what the Hero 14 brings.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now that I think about it, I think it is only the X5 that you can do that yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's like you get like you can order like a pair of replacement lenses, and I think it gives you like
Mhm.
a little special plastic tool that'll grip them so you can twist lock them on and all that stuff because they're kind of being they're curved the way they are, they're kind of hard to hold on to with your fingers.
Mhm.
Because I know,
Yeah.
yeah, as a matter of fact, I think it was yesterday I was watching Kai's video. I've been watching his videos since he was with Digital Rev TV eons ago in Hong Kong, and he does his
Mm.
own thing in England now because that's where he's originally from. And if I remember, I think that with the X5, you can not only replace both lenses, but when you order the replacements, I think they give you like a little, I can't remember if it's like a plastic, um, kind of like a modified tweezer type tool that can hold the lens and then twist and lock it into place, or if it was a suction cup based thing. I saw it in his video, but I can't remember now what it was. But I was like, wow, that's a quick and easy way to replace your 360 camera lens if it gets busted or cracked. That's
Yeah.
awesome because I know I can't do that on mine.
Yeah, that's pretty compelling. I don't think even the new DJI 360 camera can do that yet. So,
Yeah.
yeah, right now that's a big advantage of going with the X5.
Now, seeing you have one of the DJI 360 cameras yourself.
I do. I have not turned it on yet, but I have it.
Oh, you haven't
I haven't
tried it
had
out yet because
I haven't had time.
I
Yeah.
wanted to pick your brain only because the one thing I noticed when I saw it in Kai's video earlier this morning was design wise, it looked a lot like the GoPro Max that
Yeah.
GoPro used. I don't know if GoPro still makes their 360 camera. I know they only ever made one and it was called the Max because I had one. But I was
Mhm.
surprised that DJI's design was like very similar to the GoPro Max. And I was
Yeah, I
like,
was
that's kind of weird.
curious because, the rumors had been flying about their 360 camera coming out, but no one really knew what it was gonna look like. So I was like, "Okay, they're gonna go in the direction of GoPro or the direction of Insta360?" So interesting that they went the GoPro route in terms of the design. But so far, like, even though I haven't really turned it on yet, like, I do like the fact that the magnetic mods are interchangeable, again, from the ecosystem. If you have an action camera, like, you can use the same, accessories, you can use the same, wireless mics, the batteries even are the same, and so that before even turning it on and using it, like, that's already really selling me into camera.
Oh yeah, because I think I remember Kai mentioning that the DJI 360 camera uses the exact same battery as the Osmo Action 5. And
It does,
I
yeah,
was like, well, that was freaking nice of them to do that. I
right?
love
Mhm.
my X3. And again, I'm not trying to be mean Insta 360. I love that they give me a large battery for their X series of 360 cameras. I just don't like the way they're designed.
Mhm.
they're kind of
Mhm.
they're kind of chunky and weird, and I mean they're easy to change because you just pinch the two pins on the outside of the battery and it slips right out. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that big gaping hole in the side of the camera while you got the battery, and I don't like the fact that you got to take the battery out to get the bloody memory card out either.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
pain.
that's
I
true.
was like, man, who dropped the ball at Insta 360 on that one?
I don't know, but yeah, they've been rolling with that design, that the rectangular design for a while now.
Yeah,
So I'm
I didn't
guessing that
think
they're
they
gonna stick
changed
with
it.
it.
Yeah, I didn't think
Yeah,
they changed it because I think they've been using that
no.
design on all their 360 cameras.
Yeah, at this point, they're kinda known, like, that's the big differentiator, like, physically, when you see the 2 cameras, it's like, you know that that's the Insta camera because no other 360 camera really looks that way.
Exactly.
Uh,
And you know what might sound silly, but I don't know what it is, but for some reason, I do absolutely love the design of the Insta 360 cameras more than my GoPro that I had. I mean, the GoPro was a good camera, don't get me wrong, but
mhm.
it was so big and chunky. And when I got the X3, I was like, oh my God, I'm like, it's tall, but it's so sleek and thin. I love that. And
Mhm, mhm,
it doesn't feel as unwieldy when you put it on a long invisible selfie stick to like fake drone footage, you know? Because
mhm.
I have I can't remember how long it is, but I have like their super long selfie stick where you can literally I can hold my X3 to like 20 feet in the air or something like that
Oh, geez.
and simulate low flying drone footage with it.
That is
And
cool.
I love that because if I tried to do that with my GoPro Max, forget it. That thing
Mm,
would just make the stick way too top heavy to do that. Yeah.
yeah,
So
and
I do like the tall skinny aspect of the X series.
yeah, I've been liking it too. I've been using the X3 up until very, very recently when I switched over to the X5, but I've been very happy with the X3 and never really used the GoPro Max cameras because I've kept hearing for years that the new one is coming out. And so hopefully that's true, but who really knows? They better release a new one at this point because
Yeah,
competition's heating up.
yeah, because I almost think, God, they released the GoPro Max like what was it like 8 years ago or something like that?
A long
It's been
time
on the
ago.
market a long time with no
Yeah,
refresh, no version
right.
2 or anything. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, they fell asleep at the wheel on that one for sure.
It better be amazing, whatever it is they're working on, because
Yeah, tell me about it.
it's been a while.
The only thing I find that's a pain with 360 cameras is dealing with the footage.
Oh,
I mean,
yes. Yeah.
because there's no easy way to actually get the 360 effect unless you use a specific program. And
Yep.
then most of the platforms you upload it to don't support it anyway. So you're going to get that wonky, split, wavy look instead of the 360, that you can actually click and
Mhm.
change the perspective on, which I love.
Mhm.
When you find sites where you can do that with 360 footage, but anything else, and especially like if I try to edit it in Final Cut Pro, it just unrolls the 360 into a big flat timeline that's got these
Mhm.
weird wavy effects at the bottom of the video, and it looks like crap.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah,
Uh,
the editing is definitely the worst part. And so, haven't had a chance to use the Osmo 360 yet, but that is my biggest question is how are they handling the editing portion because they had to have released an editing software to go along with it. And with Insta, like they're on their fifth model, so their editing software is pretty good. I mean, it's still, in my opinion, just annoying to use because of just the nature of 360 footage, but
Yep.
it's pretty usable. It's pretty intuitive to figure out, I would say. So I'm curious to see how DJI is trying to handle that.
Yeah, I know Kai said in his video on the X5 that their desktop app does work really well with the footage from it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I think he said the mobile app actually works really well too.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, the latest version of their mobile app. I
That
was
would be impressive.
I was trying to think. I was thinking there was something they recently added that was new in the mobile app, and now I can't remember what it was because I was going to ask you about it, but yeah, I had it on the tip of my tongue and it flew away.
Mm.
That's what happens when you get old, you forget stuff quickly. But I do, like I said, I am a huge fan of Insta360's action cameras. I don't have anything against DJI. I had the Osmo Action 4
Mhm.
and I didn't end up getting the 5 because I'd already transitioned mostly to Insta360 stuff. But the
Mm.
Osmo Action 4 was phenomenal, and I sold that for darn near as much as I paid for it new to a kid in the
Oh,
area.
wow.
A kid in the area, he wanted it so badly. And I gave him extra batteries and some frames and stuff like that with it too. So he got a way better deal. Technically, he got about
Mhm. Mhm.
$150 worth of extras with it. Um,
Nice.
and so I have nothing against DJI. They do make incredible cameras, and oh my God, I'm like you. My Pocket 3 is like one of the best freaking cameras ever.
Mhm.
AI tracking gimbal camera that is that tiny. That's
Mhm.
mind blowing. And the only other one that I found that was a fairly good gimbal action camera for video is and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, the Phaotech.
Mhm.
Because I remember you reviewed one, and I got
Yeah.
one. I got one because of your review. I thought it was a really
Oh.
intriguing camera, and I love the fact that unlike the Phaotech, the DJI can't do this. I love the fact that the Phaotech, you can separate the gimbal from the remote control handle with the screen, and you can magnetically
Mhm.
attach it to your roof of your car or your hood or whatever. I freaking love that. The only sad part is they don't give us the ability to use external audio with it. You can't
Mm.
you can't use a Bluetooth mic with it like the DJI mics with it, and its built-in mics are horrible. They are
Yeah.
terrible for audio. So it's like if you want to use that to shoot footage that you need audio, then you got to use something like the Mic 2 and record all the audio to the internal on the Mic 2 and then splice it and, synchronize it in post, which I hate doing that because that can be such a pain in the butt. Um, but I do love that little Phaotech camera. That thing is freaking amazing, and it does shoot really good video for all of its other capabilities. I just wish they had thought more about the audio part.
I do remember that camera
Hmm.
having really bad audio. And yeah, it's been a while since they released it, so I'm kind of surprised that they haven't tried to release a newer version because they definitely had a unique selling point of being able to detach the camera from the rest of the body.
Yeah,
So,
because they
yeah.
were they were on a run for a little while there because the one that you reviewed that I have was I think it was called the Phaotech Pocket 3 or something like that. And I looked online and they
Mhm.
did have a 2 and a 1 that didn't have the
Mm.
separation capabilities. I think the 2, like you could separate the gimbal from the handle, but only a limited distance because it had like a coiled cord between the two that you couldn't
Mhm.
detach or something like that. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well, this is version 3. Maybe next year, the year after, they'll release version 4 and they'll give us Bluetooth audio capabilities. And I haven't seen or heard anything more about their cameras. So it's like, did they just quit making them? Or because I would have thought
I
they
don't
would have
know,
come out
yeah.
with a new model by now?
You would think, yeah. I mean, there's already rumors about a Pocket 4 coming at some point. I also saw a rumor about GoPro trying to make a similar Pocket 3 competitor. I have no idea
Oh,
if that's
geez, they're going
true,
to start that
but
whole fight
that would
again.
be, yeah, that would be interesting to
That's
see what they
crazy.
do.
Now,
Yeah.
I do, like I said, I love my Osmo Pocket. I absolutely love it. And I'm surprised they haven't already released a Pocket 4 because I think the Pocket 3's been out for a little while and they've been doing revisions every so often. But I also, I mean, I'm sure you've used them too. The Insta360 Flow gimbal for your smartphone is just
Mhm.
ridiculously good, especially the Pro version that's got the Apple dock kit capability.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I can't remember. I don't remember, even though I have them both. I can't remember now if the Flow Pro 1 had it or not. But I know for a
I don't.
fact the Flow Pro 2 can do complete 360 rotations without hitting a limit. As
Yeah,
far
I
as how
think that
far it
that's
can
new.
turn. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's only
yeah,
in the Flow Pro 2, but man, I
yeah, I
love
think so.
that because I could have like my grandson running a circle around a monopod with feet that I got the camera on, and it could track him the whole time because it has no restrictions as far as how far it can turn. I love that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, why did nobody think of that before?
Well, maybe they thought about it, but no one's just executed it. So yeah, I would say that, for as much as I love DJI products, well, I mean, there's several products that I have that are not DJI, and one would be that gimbal. Like I do think in terms of the smartphone gimbals, they're definitely winning Insta360 is over their competitors.
Yeah, I've never tried the DJI smartphone gimbals. I know a lot of people use them and they do like them, but I don't know. I mean, when I was doing a comparison online, I was like, eh. I was like, yeah, DJI makes great stuff, but I'm like, man, the Insta360 Flow Pro, that just looks like a bit more of a game changer with its automatic linking to Apple Dock Kit. So I went
Mm-hmm.
I went that route, and I don't regret it. I
Yeah.
know I had already previously in the past, a year or so ago, reviewed one of the Hohem smartphone gimbals. That was a pretty good one too. It had decent AI tracking, but man, Insta360's tracking is just insane.
It's really good.
And
Yeah.
I love the fact that because of the dock kit functionality, you don't even have to use their app to shoot your video, and you can still get AI tracking. You can do it with
Mm-hmm.
the Apple native camera app, which is mind blowing that they give you that capability where you're not forced to use their app to shoot your footage and still get AI tracking. That's awesome.
I know. Yeah.
That's definitely a game changer. All right. Well, we should probably get ready to wrap up. I usually try to keep these episodes to around an hour, and I've heard your little ones in the background, so I'm sure you got
Oh.
things to do. Don't worry
Yep.
about it. I don't mind hearing them in the background. That's totally
Okay.
fine. I got 11 grandkids, so trust me.
Oh wow.
But
Yeah,
I'm sure now that, because I didn't realize you had two now, so now that you got two, oh yeah, I can definitely see that you and Martin are probably really, really busy and really tired most of the time.
Pretty much running on coffee these days.
Yeah, keeping up with them, that's definitely going to be rough. Okay, well, Susie, I want to thank you once again for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. My listeners love it when you come on. Your last episode did crazy downloads. So I definitely wanted to get you back on again. And I know a lot of my listeners have also subscribed to your channels too, because I was like, hey man, just go over and check out her videos. She's doing some really great stuff. And so hopefully I helped you a little bit get closer to your 100 grand, but
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you
because
so much for having me. It's
oh
always
yeah,
fun to chat
yeah.
with you.
I've referred a lot of people to your channels, especially your travel channel, because I have a lot of friends that are big into travel, and some of them have been thought about doing travel vlogging themselves. And I'm like, well, go check out her channel because you can learn a lot from her because she does it all the time. So that's been a big help too for a lot of my listeners and for some of my real world friends that, like I said, want to get into travel vlogging and stuff like that. So I
Oh yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely.
And it's great to have you. You're kind enough to give me a little bit of your time to talk about that stuff. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll let you go so you can take care of the little ones. And I'll keep in touch with you by email. I try not to pester my guests too often. Usually I'll just shoot an email once in a while and say, hey, how are things going? But hopefully I haven't pestered you too much in the last year or so.
Oh no, it's always great to hear from you.
All right. Well, thank you, Susie, and say hi to Martin and the little one. The little ones are going to have no idea who you're talking about, but tell them I said hi anyways.
Absolutely, will do.
All right. You have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
All right, thank you. You too.
Bye bye.
Bye.
All right. So that was my friend Suzi Pratt and from Gemini Connect and Gemini Travel. She's always been a wonderful guest. Her second time on the show. And like I said, her first episode was super popular with my listeners. It got a lot of downloads within the first 24 hours and even more after the first week and month. So I definitely wanted to have her on again. She is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to not only travel vlogging, but audio and video and photography. She's just basically a jack of all trades, and she makes for a fantastic guest. So once again, thank you. I will have the links to her channels in the show notes for this episode so that you can check out her work for yourself. Trust me, you will not regret it. She and Martin do fantastic videos, and they are a wealth of information, and they love sharing it with you out there. So definitely recommend that you check out both of her channels. Remember to check out the Liam Photography Podcast Facebook group. It is a private group, and you must answer a security question to join, which is the name of the host of the show, myself, Liam. And I've also opened it up to allow you to give the name of a previous guest on the show to show that you're a listener. Once you are in the group, you are free to post your own original work. Additionally, I am the admin of the Fujifilm GFX 50R group, which is the largest group for the 50R on Facebook. If you own or plan to own the 50R, you can request to join that group. You can find my work at liamphotography.net and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at liamphotoatl. If you like abandoned buildings and history, you can find my project at forgottenpiecesofgeorgia.com. All right, as I said, once again, this wraps up episode 472 of the Liam Photography Podcast. I want to thank all of my listeners once again for subscribing, rating, and reviewing us in Apple Podcasts and anywhere else you might be getting your podcasts. If you're not currently a subscriber, why not? It doesn't cost you anything but a second of your time to go ahead and smash that subscribe button, so do it now, please. And go ahead and share the show out on social media and elsewhere, and ask your friends and family to give it a listen and a subscribe. New content, new episodes every week, news, photography industry news and stuff like that, as well as guests like Suzi and Dr. Larry and Levi Sim and many, many others that I've had on the show in the past few years. And we will be doing more interviews, of course, as we go along. Now, also make sure you stop by the Liam Photography YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and don't forget to enter my 50,000 subscriber giveaway, where you have a chance to win a brand spanking new Platypod Delta flat travel tripod, brand new in the package. All you have to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel, take a screenshot showing that you're subscribed, email it to liamphotoatl@gmail.com. Make sure you email it from the email address that's tied to your YouTube account so I can verify you. And that's all you got to do to enter for your chance to win. All right, I will see you all again next Thursday.